But then there's other agents where they're like, we want to be, entrepreneurial. We want to be inspired by large teams. We want to be inspired by top producers, the top 1% in the business. And so they move to a brokerage where they can work more closely with those type of agents.
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to In the House podcast. I'm Toni Singh.
And I'm your co-host, Jenny Woon.
Today's topic is navigating brokerage changes in real estate at the start of the year.
Very, very, I just see the pattern in my brokerage.
Let's get to it.
There's typically a huge rush around September to November, December of people switching brokerages, and even like with 2 weeks notice. And so I've had a handful of new agents join in January.
Wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you. Which prompted me to actually think this is a great topic for everyone.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
So I know that everybody, we talked about there's 8 cycles in a real estate career. And there's so many different reasons why agents would want to switch brokerages. And there's sometimes it's just the brokerages, there's no bad blood between the brokerage and the agent, but there's just a change that needs to happen to meet the client's goals and preferences in their career, in their life. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, people like us, we change faster than what a brokerage can, the pace of the brokerage.
Yeah. And I think everyone's evolving though too, right? So depending on what stage of your career that you're at, you may need help with different things. And maybe it could be a brokerage issue. Sometimes, I want to say this, very important. Sometimes people will look at changing brokerages, but the change in the actual brokerage may not do anything. And
exactly.
I want to say that importantly before we get into these points, because they are all valid. But sometimes you actually have to look within, friends. I think people sometimes, what I've observed is they make the mistake of thinking, well, if I change brokerages, like maybe I've had a rough patch in real estate, then all of these things will change. And that's not true. You have to look inward, make the changes and adjustments inward so that you can see them outwardly in your business. Now, sometimes you just need to make a change to change up the energy. That's okay too. Mm-hmm. But be mindful before you have the disruption of your business when you change.
Mm-hmm. I want to also add, it's about watering where you want the grass to grow. Okay.
I like that analogy.
And that, it's just a different wording, right? Also looking inwards, but when you water where you're at, it will grow. And for me, the biggest thing is, you do something 21 times, it becomes a habit, then it becomes a discipline, and then results show. Okay. Yeah. And you may just need to tweak, maybe adding a coach in your life. Maybe you're tweaking the way you get up in the morning. Maybe you're adding in some rituals throughout the day. And for these little monumental, like there could be monumental, but these little changes and adjustments will make such a big difference in your schedule.
It's also like that compounding effect too, right? Little micro changes, and then all of a sudden you're completely transformed.
Yes. So there's so many ways to look at this, but I wanted to bring this up because, like I said, there's been a huge wave of agents making some changes for in their business, but I think also, they're looking really hard at their financial situation. They're looking really hard on whether the values, their personal values and the brokerage values align, right? And we've talked about that so many times, how important that is. But there are 5 common motivations as to why people would want to switch.
Let's talk about the first one.
Okay, let's talk numbers, because obviously, just like any listing presentation, we talk about the cost. What is the cost of hanging your license at a brokerage? Mm-hmm. And it is obviously a topic that I would talk about with an agent who is considering joining a brokerage. Most often, Okay, let's go backwards here and say most people have a misconception about like what a team is. So a lot of agents come in and they're like, we want to join your team. Okay. So I have to clarify.
yeah.
Are you looking to join a brokerage or a team where you need like someone to babysit and mentor you like 24/7?
And what are they saying?
The reason why they're saying this, they're asking this is because they don't understand the structure of a team and what the role of a brokerage is.
Yeah, that's common. It's always been common though.
Is it? Like, I guess
I
maybe
think so.
only because you've been a managing broker longer than I have. But for me, like, I often get asked this question when people come in and I'm like, well, okay, can you please tell me what you think it is so far? Because that way there's no mix up.
Well, so I'm curious then, what are they saying to you then? Are they looking for a team or are they looking for a new brokerage? Or is it sometimes both?
Brokerage. But then they say, okay, is there someone that can help me like with hand holding me?
Okay.
And so, then I'm understanding, you need a mentor. You don't necessarily know what a team is because they don't really know that you have to register together as a team, have a team name and everything. So I think I'm probably maybe like reading it into it too much. For them, they're just asking, I just want to work with people.
Okay. That makes sense. And also they could be, I could actually see it happen where people would want to join your specific team at West One.
They can, yeah.
Right?
I've been very diligent on ensuring I have specifics on recruiting for Oakland Realty Northwest.
Perfect.
And then recruiting for West One.
Yeah.
Right.
And there are different
logos,
categories
different branding,
and everything too.
And obviously totally different responsibilities.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah. First thing, motivation. Okay. Many brokerages have different ways of business models. And
so many
different ways. Like every single brokerage is different.
Like ours is a lot different than Oakland.
I'm sure it is. I don't even know what it is.
No,
yours,
so it's funny. Yeah, I know, but it's okay. So this is interesting because when I think of Oakland, I'm like, and actually, just so you know, I don't always say it, but when there's new realtors that are really awesome, like you should join Jenny's brokerage at Oakland Northwest. But it's not because I don't think that they would succeed. It's like they've got the right energy. They're like young and vibrant and they're in the area. So you should join that brokerage because we don't take newbies anymore.
Thank you for saying
we don't take newbies anymore.
So are you saying that they are still taking agents, but they cannot be new?
They have to be established in the business 2 years or more. Actually, sometimes even 5. I think we might increase it to 5.
Okay.
Now, you also know that we haven't avidly been recruiting or anything like that. We've had meetings with people that would like to join the brokerage, and most of the time they're just not a good fit, or it wasn't the right time.
Yeah.
But one of the things we did this year was actually dove a little bit deeper into, who are we excited to work with these aligned values? What are the requirements that would be important to us? And what can we offer for value add for the realtor? So in that way, though, the models are very different, right? Because you guys do have that young, vibrant vibe. I love it. And I have to say, I would say almost all of the Oakland realtors citywide, so not just at your brokerage that I've worked with, they're great.
Mm-hmm.
Really good. So yeah, there's a primary difference in the business model too.
So we don't just recruit young, good-looking agents.
I know,
that are vibrant. But I want to say the reason why we attracted is because we have such a great training program called Oakland University. Mm-hmm. And
it appeals to that, but that's what I'm saying. I know you take on experienced people too, but it does appeal to people that are wanting to, they want to know more. They want to know how to do it. How do you succeed in real estate?
Yeah. I do have to say, new agents do require a lot more coaching out of my schedule.
This is an understatement.
At the very beginning.
This is why.
A lot. No,
that's good though. But I guess so. This also relates to, since we're talking about their main motivations, they want to know about the commission structure.
Okay, yes. Going back to the commission structure. So we have a flat rate and
like a desk
deal
fee, right?
Desk fee, deal fees. And then most, I would say all of our master classes our training sessions are included besides Oakland University, because Oakland University takes a number of manager brokers to put this together.
Lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. Everything is recorded. it's also, there's accountability to the managing brokers to ensure that the deliverables are clear. And a lot of it is supplementary and complementary to the component 3 and 4 that you have to complete in the applied practice
for
course.
licensing, right?
For licensing purposes. So I would say that most agents are, when they're looking for and interviewing a new brokerage or transferring, what is the cost to transfer? What does that look like? So let's just say for 1 year, it's going to cost $5,000 at one brokerage, and another brokerage is going to cost $7,500. What is that extra $2,500 going to get me by transferring to your brokerage? Now, if you're worried about $2,500, then that agent is obviously still counting like the pennies. Like they're not looking at the bigger picture. So my job as a managing broker and a recruiter is to tell them, okay, well, this is how your business is going to grow. You're not even, I guess the difference between a starter up and someone who's seasoned is that $2,500 isn't a big deal in the long run.
Yeah, and I think you said it so perfectly at the beginning. The values also have to align, right? So it is like the motivation and values. What are they actually looking for? What is that individual agent going to find valuable?
Second one is the type of technology and the type of software and marketing tools that will be offered to the agents. Now, I don't agree when a brokerage offers a customer relationship management system.
Okay. Oh, I like this topic. Say why.
The reason why is because and the reason I'm saying this is because I have been with a brokerage that promoted an internal CRM, and that CRM,
did they take your clients
sucked.
After?
Number one, it sucked because it was outdated. Number two, that data belongs to the brokerage.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah.
It also relates, it's kind of on topic, but not really, but the emails, right? Even emails. And we had Darcy LaRock on ages ago at Agent Tech Mastery.
Yes. So when you're using that, Jenny at remax.com or Jenny at dexterrealty.com, you have to end up changing your email address if you end up moving.
Yeah, that can be a business disruption.
Yes.
And very costly. What happens if the emails are not forwarded, or, you've made the move and your clients are trying to get a hold of you? I mean, most people will they're going to call you or text you these days, but some people like to send emails.
Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt. So I would say don't sign up with a brokerage that offers a CRM and offers leads, because how do you know
you're getting the leads?
You're going to get the leads that are actually quality and integral and aligned with who you want to work with. So I'll tell you this. We get a lot of walk-in traffic. I know you're on Hastings,
it's a good location,
well.
but you're a busy location.
We're in a busy location.
Yeah.
We get tons of walk-in traffic, actually. And the agents who are actually working, and we see them all the time in the office, they're going to get the leads.
Yeah, because you know that they're trying to work on their craft and that they're servicing clients properly.
We know that they're present and they're active. And another thing is, what other marketing tools? At Oakwood, we do have our Vault, which is an extranet that we've created internally for the agents to use. We have lots of forms available that are not available in web forms or transaction kits.
Yeah, those are just standardized forms. Like, if I just want to say this, it's related, but guys, most realtors that are new, they think that because there's a form or something or wording clauses in web forms, that then you're protected as the realtor. An additional offer, like value add, is that the team or brokerage that you're working with does have their own standardized clauses that were reviewed by a lawyer for your protection.
Absolutely.
So,
yep, good point. And do you guys use a contract management system?
We do, but we've tried a bunch of them, and honestly, we kind of talked about this before. We've always gone back to, you're talking about conveyancing, right? Okay, so for conveyancing, we're on our old system. It's the most efficient. Sometimes with adding new things in, it actually creates more work, and it could be the resistance to learning something new, or the fact that it just works really well. The system that we have, eventually we'll have to convert it over because it's quite old, but all of the essential items that one would need for properly communicating with the lawyers, conveyancers, other brokerage, it's all there.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
And it does it automatically. So it was actually ahead of its time.
Third thing, the third reason and motivation is a desire for professional growth and training. We kind of talked about this at the very beginning, is that people, agents are looking for more connections, more network opportunities, more better training, more specialized education. And so let's just say there's a brokerage that's maybe hovering around to 20 to 30 agents and they're happy with that size. But then there's other agents where they're like, we want to be, entrepreneurial. We want to be inspired by large teams. We want to be inspired by top producers, the top 1% in the business. And so they move to a brokerage where they can work more closely with those type of agents.
Absolutely. Sorry, I just had a thought because it reminded me of an old BCIT program and the real estate industry. But there are some models where you have a whole bunch of top producers in one space, and that's the motivation for agents actually switching, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
You and I have switched I switched many times. You switched once. But I know there's a lot of new listeners on this podcast. So let's talk about maybe just our past history of why we switched and when we switched.
Sure. Okay, I'll go first. I've only switched one time. My situation was a bit different though. Started real estate in 2010. And then I started, should I say the brokerage or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Great brokerage, by the way. Shout out to Rennie and Associates Realty and Rennie Marketing Systems. They were amazing. I chose them for a reason because I think back then, so it was vibrant. They were doing a lot of project marketing and they needed sales teams for that as well. And I just really liked the managing broker, Vince. He's actually still there. So I chose Rennie. I was the type of person that was in the office all the time too. So I was learning, I was absorbing, I was listening to how realtors spoke to their clients because at the time I had no business. So I would stay in the pit and just like lead follow-up or lead generate, whatever. But in 2013 or 2014, I forget the year now, I moved over to my family's brokerage, Bel Air Realty Group in Vancouver. And to be honest, I was actually quite happy at Rennie. They didn't so this is an example of where there's absolutely no bad blood. I still am friends with who's left on their exec team. They've added a lot new people and expanded. But at the time, it was because my brother Warren, who was at the brokerage, was burnt out from real estate. And he went
Bel
Air Realty. Okay. And so he took a respite and went to India for an indefinite time period. And then I just went back to the family brokerage. So I'm there. But again, it wasn't like, if we didn't have Bel Air Realty Group, would I have left Rennie? Probably not. I was very happy there at that time. I don't know if things changed after or anything because I was there for almost 4 years.
Well, what did your dad say when you said, hey, I'm going to join Rennie, I'm not going to join Bel Air?
He was supportive of my decision, but my dad also knows that if he was not going to be supportive of the decision, it wouldn't go well.
Right.
Because then
you're going to fight back.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, he was great.
Yeah.
How about you? Because I know you started off at RE/MAX though, right?
No, I didn't.
It wasn't RE/MAX?
No.
I thought your first brokerage was RE/MAX.
RE/MAX was like my third one.
No, who was first?
So I started off working for a developer without a license.
Yeah, I remember that. Right? But I mean like real estate brokerage. Wasn't it RE/MAX?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was, yeah. So I got my license during working with a developer and they had an in-house like realty office. So I basically was with them for 3-4 years. And I hung my license because I was specifically doing project sales only, not even doing resale. So afterwards, I then moved to another project marketing company and they had their own in-house real estate brokerage. So I hung my license there because I was only doing projects. Now, at this point, I was doing multiple projects for different developers, but they had their own, like this project marketing company had their own brokerage. So then I was able to kind of be exposed to many different types of project managers, but developers as well at this point. From there, I left and then I went to Coldwell Banker, Westburn in Burnaby.
I forgot about that. You're right.
Right? So the reason why I chose it was because I ended up leaving that project marketing company, but wanted to work in the Okanagan for the summer. And so without having to transfer
you couldn't do it.
my brokerage to the interior. I just hung my license without doing local transactions. So I hung my license because the fees were reasonable and I knew I wasn't going to do anything local.
Yeah.
But I was still wanted to be licensed. So I was hired as like a contractor at that point, right? To do some sales in the Okanagan.
Cool.
And the commission would funnel through my brokerage at Colwell.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm on number 3, right? So number 4.
Remax?
Remax was across the street from Colwell Banker. So this is on Kingsway in Burnaby.
Yeah.
So Remax Central, which is now called Remax Crest, I have my license there because I decided, okay, well, Remax, Coldwell was also in the States, but Remax, I think, had just a bigger presence and had more top producers. And so they provided a program called the Brian Buffini program.
Oh, that's a good program.
And it was included as part of the training package. And it just made sense for me to be at a brokerage where they provided just another layer of training because I wanted to, at this point, go into resale. Okay. So I figured, let's stop project sales now and go into resale. Actually, sorry, I didn't go into resale right away. I came back into Vancouver, started with a local developer, but I still hung my license at Coldwell Banker while I was doing projects locally. So then at Remax, I was there for quite a while. And what I mean by quite a while is probably like 4 years, like 3 years.
And some people also don't leave their brokerages after.
Yeah, some people don't leave their brokerage for 30 years. But I guess for me, I'm always just finding something that matches.
It also speaks to the evolution of where you wanted your career to go. So like your pathway, right? Where you thought it would work. Yeah.
I didn't realize that switching, and the thing
it's disruptive though. Did you find that?
No,
because I don't like the disruption and all that stuff.
No, at this point I didn't do much branding. Okay, so it didn't really matter that there was a balloon logo next to my Jenny Woon logo. Like I didn't even have a Jenny Woon logo. I was still doing a lot of projects, and so the branding came along with the project, and really I was just really building my portfolio at this point.
Yes.
So I went into Remax, did a bit of soul searching, and I felt like, okay, I think it's time for me to join a team. I love being part of a team because working on all these projects with managers and assistants and coordinators, I was like, I think I miss the combination of working with other people. So I joined a team. That team was part of Remax Central, but they had a North Burnaby location.
I remember
on
this.
Hastings.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I moved. I kept the license at the same brokerage, but moved the location of my physical location, which was along Hastings in North Burnaby. So I joined the team there, and so this wasn't my fault. At this point, or it wasn't my call. There was the 2 team leaders decided to open their own brokerage. Okay. And so they decided to open Core Realty, which is
I remember when you were there.
Brokerage.
Yeah.
And again, the location physically was in North Burnaby. And I decided to leave that team because I felt, I could run the team a little bit more efficiently, have my own team members. And I felt the leads weren't quality, weren't given to me on a consistent basis. And I felt like, okay, I can do a better job. And I feel like I want to improve my brand in a different way and rebrand basically. So when I followed them to Core Realty, I then branched out on my own to be my own solo agent, formed my team. Years and years and years, I was top producer, really had no other way to, I basically hit the glass ceiling. Michael from Oakland contacted me to acknowledge what I've been doing in Burnaby. And I've been farming and hunting really well in all the projects and in resale. And he said, one day we're going to open up a location in Burnaby. We want you to run it. And at this point, I had already gotten my managing broker license way before.
You were still licensed somewhere else though, right?
I was still licensed at Core Realty. Yeah. Okay. But I already had my managing broker license because I was just wanting to study. What else is there other than being a tradesperson, a salesperson? So but I told him I had it. He's like, perfect. Like this, I couldn't have asked any better person to be doing this. So I said, okay, I feel like maybe there's a good fit, and one day, we'll move over. So he said, so we had coffee twice. Second time he said, okay, we're really close to wanting to franchise out. I said, okay, I'm going to move my team over. So this was like 2018.
Oh, that was
2017.
Not that long ago.
No, not too long ago. It's 2017. So, because I've only been really with Oakwind for like 6 years, right? So
I thought it was longer.
Yeah, no. Well, Oakwind's only 10 years old.
Yeah, I know, because they didn't exist when I joined Rennie. Rennie was like...
they did not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, here we are.
Like here we are.
5 brokerages later. 5 brokerages later. And I wanted to bring to the last point, market changes and adaptation is...
Well, hold on. Let's summarize first though, because what Jenny basically spoke to, if we want a summary, is the desire for personal growth and training. Like on her journey, she was kind of fulfilling that as she was moving along and discovering that. And then cultural fit and office environment.
Yes. Okay. There was a natural fit to reflect where my business was going to go and where I needed to be supported and who I wanted to collaborate with. And so each and every chess move, it had to do with how did I want to grow in this business.
It's perfect.
Right?
The story is actually really fun. I'm sure our listeners will appreciate hearing it. And you've definitely covered those 2 important points. So that's good.
And I want to, mention like, throughout this, you and I, we've experienced 2 to 3 market shifts where it was like significant, like recessions and hypes and recessions and hypes. And I really want to point out that if you just stick with your alignment of who you are and who you want to work with, you're not having to chase all the time the market. You're not chasing the market, okay? You're just going to be attracting the right people that want to work with you. And
Absolutely.
That's working environment, working culture, but also working with clients.
Wow, you just made it sound really old though, like going through that many market cycles. I don't tend to freak out anymore though. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. This is happening again.
I like being older.
This is great.
I like being older, actually. I just feel so much more at peace.
Okay.
I think because we're past the chase.
I mean, I still like to chase sometimes, but
chasing something
not
different
all
now.
the time. Yes. Love that. Okay.
So, wrapping this all up, I just want to say it's okay to feel like you want a change. And decisions are a combination of not just about money, but it's about many different factors that are happening throughout your personal life and professional life, and really take into account. And what I did was I did like a number system. Like I was like, is this the right move? Does it feel good? But I also, of course, the rational side in me.
Well, it would be different now if you were going to make these decisions probably. You still got there before.
Yes.
But how easy was it for you to tap into your intuition, or were you like in your head a bit?
It wasn't easy before.
Yeah.
Now it's like really easy for me to make decisions.
Right.
But before it was heavily weighed on the number system. So I would like put everything on a scale of 1 to 5. And then all of a sudden, whichever, I guess, had the highest score would be like the decision I would make. So
strategic and methodical.
Gosh.
Oh my gosh.
So there you go.
Okay. So we hope you guys enjoyed this episode for today. I think to summarize, Jenny's already done it, but embrace changes and also have a strategic path and goal for what you want to create. Perhaps that'll help guide your decisions with your own access to your intuition.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in.